Hey everyone, Steve 87th here. Not sure if this is going to be a regular unboxing or if this is going to go just on Jack Jacks, but I finally got my first box in for supplies for Jack Jack's build. Let's see what all I got. Let's see if this will satisfy what I need. One of my problems is after I saw what I had ordered, I was like, not sure if that's going to work. So let's go into our box here, get our normal stuff out, our catalog. Oh, look, big tomatoes, because that's what we all need now. And, oh, wow, outdoor yard sign, just like Vinny got, I think. Okay, resident paper packing. The good thing is the cats really love this. Ow. Okay. So, this doesn't have to do with the scratch build, but these are replacement pads for my airbrush booth. I needed those because mine's getting pretty bad. Oh, yeah. I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, I got a few packs of those. They came in as a 5-pack, but it looks like they came individually as a 5-pack. That's kind of nice. That made no sense whatsoever. Okay, so this is supposed to be siding, but unfortunately, I found out too late that this is this is O-scale siding. So this isn't going to work for my project. It'll probably come in handy for something else, or I don't know, maybe I'll make Mike and Brian something to put on their layout, but that's not going to work for me on this one. Okay. That's kind of weird. So this will kind of work. Some board and batten lumber, which would go to the front part of the building. Wound up with 3 sheets of it. That's a lot, but hey, you know what? That's kind of cool because I can always use more of it later for something else. And then I also have, I know this sounds kind of weird because it looks the same thing, but I have the ribbed roofing, the standing ribbed roof, which might not be right. I have to see how this comes out as opposed to even just using this again. However, this is board and batten. But I got some stuff to start doing the outside coverings. Yeah, they're the same width. I'll have to see what the width is on these to see if they work. So we'll see if those work for the outside of the building. Okay, this is just a real quick video. I got another box today. Thank God. Came from, who did it come from? Hobby Link. This is from Hobby Link. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and then show you what I got. So some of my things came in and some of them aren't gonna be right. I got some T-plates. Those are going to be coming handy. See why. I got some roll-up freight doors, but they don't look like the right size. So I might have to do something with that or look what's going on with my other one. Then I got some windows. So these will be good for the front windows. That's mostly what I got them for, was those 2 windows there for the front. Okay, I got these windows, but these are really kind of not what I wanted to have, but I may make them work. We'll see what happens on that, because I found out a little bit more about them. So this is one set of front doors. Let's see here that I need. And then got the other set of front doors, which is mostly more glass. Okay. Then I got some stair runners too, because I've got a couple of different sets of stairs that I got to put in there. So this is from Northeast Short Lines. So that's all for the scratch build. Well, actually not. The last one I showed you that I had O-scale. Well, this is actually the corrugated siding in HO scale, and I got lots of pieces of it. So that's what I needed, because this is the entire side of the building and the roof. So I got 3 packets of those, which is really kind of cool. And then I got a double order because I did not know that I was doing this, but I got more ribbed roofing. But that's not going to be bad because there's a lot of buildings and things like that I could use this. I could also use it for some siding too in the future. So even though I got it and I don't need it, it's going to be pretty good. So I have almost enough for my scratch build. Like I said, the windows are my biggest concern right now because I found out that they were four across, not 6 across as I looked at them. So I may have to see if I've got them in my stash or not. Then I went and got a couple of more things that were not scratch build related, but kind of are. So this is a wood scale. All right, so if it's the scale lumber gauge. So you can see here that they basically use 1/8 inch equals a foot scale for 1/87 scale, which actually isn't too bad. So that gives you all of the dimensions for the lumber there. And they also do it in O scale, which is quarter, and then in 3/4 scale, which is probably closer to G. So I wanted to get one of these. And it's kind of funny, so they have it on millimeters in the back. That's kind of cool. So one side is English, the other side is millimeters. So this is also from Scale Lumber Gauge. So that'll help me figure out my lumber sizes, which is kind of nice. All right, so this is just a quick part of the video. I've got my building and I have my front fascia. Unfortunately, I need to wait for some other stuff to do the rest of the building since it's all done in one thing. So what we're going to do, I've already kind of done it, we're just going to take the building, lay it on the back side, of the wood, and then make sure that we have some extra up there on the top. Go ahead and strike a line. Made lines on the inside to know where that stops at and made all those lines. Now we're going to make these cuts and then start to finalize the front. The funny thing is I got all this wood and I only need that much of it because that's all that this takes. Okay, so let me go take care of that. And so I've cut the 3 pieces out, had to change my knife blade, make sure I had a nice sharp one. Now I'm putting them all together and I'm just taping them together for right now so that I make sure that I have a nice square area. The good thing is of course the bottom is going to be cut, but I got to cut these tops off so that they're right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, tape them the rest of the way, and then I'm going to go ahead and outline the building on here so I can make my cuts. So now that I put all the tape together, my next job is to come over here, line this all up, because it's going to be lined up all the way to the end over here, and then make my drawing of where all my outline has to be, and then cut, and then it'll give me some time and I can sand it into the front. Okay, so before I go any farther, I have to fix a little problem that I did. When I initially did these walls, this wall here was supposed to be on the inside, which is why I came up with this big gap here and I didn't realize it. So that wall was supposed to be on the inside. And then the same up here. So since they were supposed to be inside walls, they were going to be square up on the top. But now that they're outside walls, I have to make an attempt to get this angle all the way so that it's done right across the top. So I've already started the angles on both sides. Now all I have to do is run a knife through here so I get a nice clean angle all the way. I don't have to do that over on this side because that's already been taken care of. Okay, so I've copied the outline of my building on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut those out so that I can put them on the building eventually. There we go. Got the front all cut out. Now we're just going to go ahead and sand it and make sure we get it all done right. All right, so that is part 1 of this. You can see here, this all fits nicely, and it's just going to be glued right onto the front of that. But I've got to cut doors and windows, and I've got to put the roof line up here and the roof line here. So all of that will be taken care of. So I get my little roof that comes down on this way out. I think it starts about there and goes all the way across. I have to double check on that measurement. And these are not glued together yet. And there's a reason for that, because if I glue them together now, when I go to put my strips across here and across here to put on that front porch and the front deck, I can use those as part of the gluing to keep everything all together. So for right now, I'll just keep them taped like that so that I don't have to worry about glue going all over the place. So now it's time. I got to go look and see where my roof line starts along here, knowing how far it's going to come out. And then we get to figure out whether or not we have to put anything on these, whether they'll be seen or not. And in some cases, I don't even think they're going to be seen. So that's what I got for right now. I didn't show you guys this before, but this is 12-inch planking, which is actually going to be the deck of the front of the building. So we're going to go and measure these out. I got these cut at 6 feet because that's how far out the deck goes. We're going to measure these out, match them up, and then get ready to glue those together so that we have our front porch. And then I know how high up the front porch will be. And then we can stick that on there, and then we'll have a front porch to go with it. And if you guys are wondering, why am I doing this all out of wood? The front is actually wood, which means that when I go to stain this with my barn red stain that they've got, it's going to make it look a lot closer. And plus, like, the whole front of this is all railroad tie. This is kind of a gray color where the deck is actually at. And then it's supported by railroad ties. And then I found out also that the railroad ties actually go in front of this. So this roof overhangs about 14 feet, so that means that about half of that, looking at the pictures, would be the 6 foot. So because we're out in Washington, they still left another 6 feet to hang over on that roof so that the people who are loading up and all that can get their stuff into their trucks and all, which is kind of considerate, which you don't see that in a lot of places. So that's kind of cool. So I just thought I'd bring that up, but that's what the next steps are. All right, so here are the porch pieces. We're just going to go ahead and glue those together. They get painted a different color later. We're just using some Eileen's glue. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Just use some Eileen's glue and some pressure. Now I'll put those together, and that'll be our front porch. Okay, so I got to put this down so I can put all these together. We got some windows and doors. I still have some other windows I have to get, but these are the front doors. The clear glass front doors, the half glass front doors. These two windows will be used for the front windows, and I've got to figure out if these are going to be the right roll-up doors or if they've got to be modified. So we're going to go ahead and do some placement of those now. Okay, so we're putting together the first set of stairs. Unfortunately, they're not going to be prototypical because I found out that their stairs are at a different stage, so I'm just going to use the preset stairs. So you can see what I've done here. This is actually the width of the staircase, which is what I cut my posts to, and now I've put tape on backwards to hold the stringers in place so that I can then come up and put in the treads and the backing pieces, which have already been cut. So I'm going to do that. Again, I'm not going to show this because there's too many things that are going on, and it's a little bit too of a confined space. So I'm just going to do little shots and show you befores and afters. Okay, thanks. So here is one of two stairways finished. You can see, yes, the prototype actually has see-throughs, so they're staying like that. So that's one of two done. Okay, we have the second one, which is the 8-foot one, which if you look at it, that's the doorway that it'll be going into, and then there's the stairs. So next thing we're going to do is put the stairs together, the same way we did the last one. We've got 2x8s for the top and 2x4s for that piece that goes down. Oops, sorry, 2x8s for the top, 2x4s for the piece that goes down. So we're going to put all those together. And there is the 8-foot done. So that's my stairs. They're all done. They'll get put on eventually. All right, so this front still hasn't been touched yet. However, I did scrape off all of the bottom section where the boardwalk is going to go to. Okay, so that's kind of the first prep for that because I need to know where the bottom of that is so I can start putting in doors. All right, so that's the prep. All right. So again, I'm not showing how to do all of this stuff. I'm doing little pops and all that, but important modeling tip. We put in the first door, which there's actually a sliding door that goes over these doors, which is kind of a cool way that they've done it. So there's about a 4-foot section there. But when you're making your cutouts in your doors, especially since they're in the middle, the first thing you want to do is do the outline. You can see that the door itself, you can see that the door itself sits in a certain way, right? Well, that's because it does have relief marks on it. So the biggest thing that you want to do is when you cut, you want to cut smaller than the hole. So what I did was I marked out what the inside is, or I marked out what the outside is, so I knew where it was going to hit, and then I came in. Now the other way to do it is mark on the inside portion, which might be easier. Mark around where the inside portion is, and then cut on that line, and then what you need to do is sand this down so that you get the exact fit of the door. If you don't do it that way, the door is never going to, you're either going to cut it over and you're going to have big overhang, or the door isn't going to fit right. So that's what I'm doing right now, doing a whole bunch of sanding to get this to fit in there right. Okay? Okay, after a bunch of sanding, you can see that I've got that fit in there correctly. You look over on the back side. Turn it over on the back side. That frame fits in there exactly the way it is. It's not going to get glued in until after we paint the building. Okay, model railroaders. As you can see, I got all of the holes cut and the windows are put in. Again, they're just in there a little bit. Now, remember when I said I did this? Okay, let me just show you. Oops. Why isn't it coming back down? There we go. When I did this, I told you guys I had to do a compression on this. I couldn't keep it the same size. So there is the building that I have. Okay. And then that's the actual size building. So I had to do some compression on this. So now the next thing we're going to do, instead of being able to do measurements and all that, I'm just going to show you how I'm going to set these all up. Okay. So this is one of the good things about having my little glass table. So looking at the drawing and then bringing our stuff together, I can see exactly where I need to put these. Now what I'm going to do is I am just going to tape these in place on this glass. The reason is because I'm setting these up based on the way that they look there. All right, not necessarily where they actually would measure out to be. I can't measure it out to be where they're going to be at because I don't know where exactly they're going to be. So let me set this up. I'm going to tape this to my table. Again, this is still not glued together as one big piece yet. I'm going to take out a bunch of pieces of little tape. Glass tabletop, again, is really cool because you can cut out lots of little strips right on the tabletop, and they can be a lot straighter. And you can get them to go a lot faster. So I'll come back in now that I know where these guys are at. Let's get these poles. Can't use that because it doesn't sit down straight enough. Nor does this one. So I'm going to have to use a trusty square something or other. The good thing is these metals are always square. So there is that guy. Now you ask why I'm going to do all this. Well, the tops of these poles get a 12-foot or get a 12-inch post that goes across them. You guys saw in the little thing there. So this way, I'm setting up my own little jig. Now, if we look, we can see that there's another post that is fairly close. Now, I've already gone and sanded all these posts down so that they're all the correct size. So there's no problem with that. Okay. This is always the hard parts when you're coming down to the little things. But this is where the details count. I might have cut those a little bit too short. Especially that one doesn't want to hook, doesn't want to stay down. So I'll just come in, put another one that's bigger. Tie him down. So the next one we can see is about at the middle of this window. Go in, put him at about the middle of the window. Now this is scale 2x6 lumber, 6x8 lumber that I'm using. Okay. Now over here, we know that this is going to go on either side of the staircase. So we go ahead and bring in the staircase. Put one on that side of the staircase. Yeah. I just realized I put those the wrong way. Oops. I have to go back and fix those. So anyway, this is the way I'm going to set up how my posts are going to go. And then I will attach my posts. Okay? I'm going to go through all that. I'll show you guys what I do and then how I set this all up at the end. All right. Thanks. Okay. This is the glue jig that I've got that I'm using to put the front posts together. Okay. So we're going to let that dry so that I can do more finishings to it. Okay. Just wanted to show everybody. It's taken a little bit of time, but I've got holes in. I've got the loading dock on. These are all cut to where they're supposed to be. And as soon as the roof is ready to go up, I've also got that all ready to go. So just some stairs and a lot of paint's got to go on this. So that's where I got to this week. So I got the front of the building done. And I got all the stuff for the side of the building and the top of the building. So now it's going to be, top roof's got to go there, cuts down to there. I might have to remove some of that, but that's also a nice strengthening, stiffening bar that's in there. And this is all glued together now as one piece. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Done for this week. So if you like the video, subscribe and give a thumbs up. But that's all he's got.